Guys, we are back after a lovely lunch break, and we are talking to Mike and Marty of Shenandoah. Thank you guys so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
The Mike and Marty party.
That's right.
I like that. You should change the name.
Well, we named our corporation.
Well, you guys, I'm so excited to talk to you. I know we've chatted before. It's my first time talking to you. I know CRS is just such an overwhelming experience, but I'm glad you guys took a minute to come chat with Heartland and me. You guys go way, way back. I used to listen to y'all when I was a kid. Not to date you or anything.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know.
No. Hey, hey, that's fine. To be honest with you, that's the reason why we're here today.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a rejuvenation. We really actually, look. There's a whole lot of people that never ever get a shot like we've had, and then only to turn around and get another chance at another shot. That's literally almost heard of in this business.
Yeah.
And we feel real fortunate, for that. But the reason why it is because, we were here before. And a lot of things you'd mentioned about being at, CRS and kind of how overwhelming it is. The one thing that we learned, this is probably our, 22nd, 25th one we've done. So therefore, we've learned how to pace ourselves and the things that you do. When we were younger, we partied a lot, and bless God, glory to God, we got saved, and we don't do that no more. But anyway, you'd burn the first couple of days, and then the rest of the week you absolutely hated it, because now it used to be, it was a week long, and I mean week long. And then at the end of the week, at the end of the week, you were doing the radio liners for all the radio stations that came up, and you're thinking, oh, geez, man, I'm so tired, I can't even read. And stuff like
Just
that.
Call letters and numbers.
Yeah, so
get it all mixed up.
So we've always enjoyed coming to the CRS. Over the years, we made a lot of friends. Not just the artists, but people like yourself. We've done so many interviews with the same people over the years, and it's always good to see familiar faces and catch up on what's going on in each other's lives.
That's the best way to get to the Heartland. Yeah. Going out there where the Heartland's at there,
Was that a Canadian accent for
No, I picked that up in Nebraska last year. We done about 25 shows out there. Yeah, we was out there, us and Restless Heart, which we're also doing some shows for Restless Heart again this year. It's called the 90s Throwback Tour.
Oh,
so us and Restless Heart and Shenandoah, we're gonna get back out that way, Nebraska, going to Wisconsin, and we're going to Minnesota. And all kind of just great places all around there, the heartland of America.
Look up the dates, guys. Shenandoah.com, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shenandoah Band. Shenandoahband.com.
We'll get it right in the lower third here.
Everything
Yeah.
is Shenandoah Band, Facebook, all of it. Shenandoah Band.
So let's talk a little bit about Freebird in the Wind. This is such a neat project. I just think it's a cool thing to be bringing awareness to the tragedy of, Leonard Skinner. Can you guys just talk to us a little bit about that in your own words?
Well, the thing about it is it was really kind of an honoring thing that we were doing. The great thing about being in this business as long as we have been, it's given us an opportunity to be able to do things and do the things that you want to do. And nowadays it's not like you're hooked up to a label, and the label says you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you're not going to do that. Because see, we hadn't had those anchors. We've just now signed a new record deal with Foundry, and we're tickled about that, and got a brand new album coming a little bit later on for the year. But the Freebird in the Wind thing, a friend of mine from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. In fact, he does the voiceover for Scooby-Doo and Scrappy, cool. Scott Ennis.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, so he called me and said, Marty, said, man, I'd like for you just to listen. Just tell me what you think. So he sent it to me. So I listened to it. I said, man, Scotty, this is really, really good. He goes, do you think y'all would cut that? And I said, why would we cut it? And he said, I don't know, maybe just because it's a good song. And I said, I'll tell you what. I said, just hang tight. I said, let me see. And before it was all over with, we talked about it and talked with Cole Johnstone, our manager, and stuff. And we started putting little things together and this kind of stuff. And I'd had the opportunity of going down to Gillsburg, Mississippi, where the plane actually went down while they were on their way to Baton Rouge. And anyway, so getting down there and then filming some stuff that was that's going to be part of something that we're going to do a little bit later with it. Even with the fella that shot the original film on the plane. Now it wasn't that wasn't the trip that the plane went down.
Okay.
He was just on the plane a couple of weeks before then. So the shots that you see on that is where that comes from. Anyway, nonetheless, we started thinking, well, man, who would really be good, and it worked out like a jewel because I got a hold of Charlie Daniels, and actually Ronnie Van Zant had helped Charlie Daniels in so many ways when he was a younger artist.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and anyway, so he said, look, Marty, I want to be a part of it in the worst kind of way, but I don't want to sing on the record. But he said, look, I've done a eulogy at Ronnie Van Zant's funeral. And he said, can I tell you what that eulogy was? And he just started spouting out the eulogy. And I said, man, Charlie, that's beautiful. And he said, Judy, Ronnie Van Zant's wife, he said, she thought it was so beautiful. It literally sits inscribed in a bench as you overlook Ronnie Van Zant's graveside. And said, now, I would like to put that on there if I could. And at the end of it says, fly, free bird, fly. And anyway, so that made really, really good to be able to do that. But, it really, it was, it came in a good time. Skinner and them were celebrating last year. They celebrated a farewell tour, but it was also the 50th year that Leonard Skinner had been around.
Wow.
And the most notable thing that they'd been known for was a plane crash. But just as soon as you mention the music, the plane crash just kind of goes away. It's kind of like, man, yeah, Sweet Home Alabama, Freebird, yeah, man, I did it. Give me 3 takes, all that stuff. Then the music starts, when you start talking to somebody, then the music starts taking hold again. Mm-hmm. And it was really kind of a cool thing to be able to do. And
we recorded it in Muscle Shoals too, where they recorded Freebird. We, the studio.
I didn't know Freebird was recorded in Muscle Shoals. That's cool.
And the studio is called 3614 Jackson Highway. It's where Muscle Shoals Sound Studio was, where golly, umpteen thousand hits was recorded there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Skinner came in there and did their earliest recordings right there in that building, and we live in Muscle Shoals.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, we're part of the Muscle Shoals. Our earliest hits was recorded at Fame. 2 Dozen Roses, Cumberland Road, all those hits were recorded there. But we'd recorded in just about every studio in Muscle Shoals except for that one. And so when this song came around, we thought, man, let's go over to that studio where they recorded and let's record that song right there. So that's what we did.
Now, awesome. The mathematical probability of all this is, see, I grew up in Florida, and I grew up on the west side of Jacksonville, and that's where Skinnerd was from. Yeah, that's where the Van Zants and Rosington and all them cats. I mean, that's where they were. That's where they were from, the west side of Jacksonville, Duval County. And now look, I didn't know they were older than I was, so I didn't know them. But it really actually, when you start putting all the pieces in the puzzle together, you kind of get thinking, man, that's actually kind of weaves its way in kind of a nice way.
Don't you think?
So we did it.
Seems like destined. That's cool. It's really cool.
Plus, we figured when we'd go to do a show and stuff like that, Freebird! We'd play Freebird in the wind.